My name is Tyler Masters, and I am doing my presentation on the gun control versus gun rights debate. This particular debate has been going on in our country for a long time, and there's been an increase in the amount of public shooting incidents that have taken place over the last decade. Mass shootings have taken place in our schools, shopping malls, movie theaters, and college campuses all across the country. This particular argument is very sensitive, and many people are very passionate about the ownership and the possession of guns. There are many arguments that can be made for both sides of this debate. One of the biggest arguments for gun control advocates is the fact that there is a very high rate of gun violence in our country. It is substantially higher than the amount of gun violence in other countries. The number of guns that are in circulation in our country is also extremely high. It is estimated that there are approximately 290 million guns throughout the United States, and about 38.4% of households own at least one firearm. The United States also leads the world in the number of homicides by use of a firearm. And gun control advocates also believe it is too easy to purchase and own a gun. Those that are not in support of more strict gun control argue that gun control laws interfere with our Second Amendment right to bear arms. That right is given to us so that we may protect ourselves if a governmental breakdown was ever to occur. Self-defense and the defense of others is another big argument. With all the shootings that have taken place, people believe that they should be able to carry guns in order to protect themselves in case a situation arises where self-defense with a firearm is necessary. The fact that regardless of any laws put into place, there will still be people that disregard those laws. Criminals will always be around, and even with more strict gun control laws put into place, those laws will still get broken. And lastly, people use guns for hobbies and recreational use like hunting, and limiting their recreational activity would cause an outrage. There have been many notable shooting tragedies that have had extensive media attention over the course of the last decade and a half. One of the first in a long list of public shooting incidents was the shooting at Columbine High School back in 1999 in Colorado. Two teenage males opened fire and killed 12 students and a teacher before they took their own lives. Back in 2007, a college student at Virginia Tech University shot and killed 32 individuals on different parts of campus before he ended up turning the gun on himself. At a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado back in 2012, a shooter shot and killed 12 people, and up to 60 others were wounded or injured. At a naval yard in Annapolis, Maryland, a soldier shot and killed 12 other soldiers, ended up killing 12 before he was eventually shot and killed. And then at Sandy Hook Elementary School, which was extremely devastating considering the majority of the victims were young kids, a total of 20 kids, teachers, and other faculty members were killed before the shooter also took his own life. Gun-related violence is a lot more common here in the United States than it is anywhere else. There's a large amount of fatal incidents involving death, non-fatal incidents resulting in injury, and non-fatal incidents that don't result in injury where a firearm is involved. In the year 2000, Kovandzic and Marvell found that 66% of homicides, 26% of robberies, and 6% of aggravated assaults in this country involved a firearm. In the year 2011, Planty and Truman looked at those same statistics and found that Guns were involved in 70% of homicides, 26% of robberies, and 30% of aggravated assaults. In that 11-year span, there was a definite increase in the amount of gun-related violence from the 3 violent crimes looked at. And then in 2007, which kind of split the difference between the years of 2000 and 2011, there was a reported 68% of homicides that involved the use of a firearm. When looking at the gun laws in the United States, it is important to know that the majority of gun laws are dependent on the individual state. We do have some federal laws, but they are fairly broad and provide the framework for state laws. Some federal laws include prohibiting convicted felons from owning or possessing any type of gun. Nobody under the age of 21 can purchase a handgun, and nobody under the age of 18 can purchase a rifle or shotgun. And it is illegal to import or produce assault weapons as well. When it comes to the individual state laws, there's a wide variety of laws concerning the licensing, registration, background checks, waiting periods, safe storage, and the age in which you can possess a gun. According to the Open Society Institute, the 2 states with the most strict gun laws were Massachusetts and Hawaii. States with the most lenient laws were Alaska, Wyoming, and Maine. States with high population and have many urban areas often have strict gun laws and are more in favor of gun control, whereas states with more rural areas and less concentrated population don't have as strict of laws and are more likely to oppose gun control. The United States has a rate of 89 firearms per every 100 people. Considering the amount of guns that are in circulation in our country, which was referred to a little bit earlier, that's a lot of guns. It is not hard to purchase or possess guns in this country, and not many guns are legal to own. The United States has extremely lenient gun laws compared to other countries around the world, including Japan, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Germany. In Japan, gun ownership is very rare, and they have a rate of 6 firearms per every 100 people. Most gun ownership in Japan is illegal. In the UK, there is a 6.7 firearms per every 100 people rate, which is slightly more than Japan. And also in the UK, there are strict gun laws, but gun ownership is not as illegal as it is in Japan. Australia has a rate of 15 firearms per every 100 people. And in Germany, there's a rate of 30 firearms per every 100 people, which is closer to the United States than either of these countries, but as you can see, still significantly lower. The media has a tremendous influence on the gun control and gun rights debate. The media controls the type of message that the rest of the world is receiving. Television, radio, and newspapers are all media outlets that are used, and of those, the majority of people get their news from television, according to Dowler. He pointed out that those that get their primary news from television or radio are often more in favor of strict gun control laws, whereas those that primarily get their news from newspapers are more likely to oppose strict gun control laws. Social media is becoming a huge part of how people get their news nowadays, and the radio and newspaper are declining in the amount of people that use them to get their news. Politics also have a big influence on the gun control debate. Because this topic is very important to many people, politicians can sway voters to vote for them based on the stance they take on this debate. However, at the same time, politicians are known to shy away from taking a stance on the gun control argument because it can also turn away voters. There are many lobbyist groups, such as the National Rifle Association, or NRA, that will support and fund political candidates based on their views when it comes to gun control. This particular debate is one that will not be going away anytime soon. Some people believe that reducing the amount of firearms in this country will end up decreasing the amount of violent crime, and therefore they favor gun control laws. And there's some that oppose gun control laws and believe that by the banning or limiting of any guns, it's unconstitutional. Regardless of where people stand, this is a healthy debate to have because of all the tragedies that have occurred in our country. There's my references, and thanks for listening.